Hi everyone. Happy anniversary, Grace Fellowship International. Hi Kathy. Hi John. Hi Doc. I wish that I could be there with you all tonight to celebrate GFI and what it has meant to me and to the lives of so many other people. But I am honored to be able to share a little bit of my testimony with you tonight via video. So I grew up in an abusive environment and then also experienced some pretty traumatic events at a young age, including seeing the death of my friend's father when I was just 14 years old, and a friend of mine committed suicide when I was just 17, and followed by my mother's battle with cancer and her death when I was just 20 years old. And that combined with being in a physically abusive relationship during the 4 years of my college time. So throughout this time, I presented myself as the star student and musician and performer, and I found a love for theater because I was able to take all the emotion from all these things that I buried during the day and pour them out on stage. And I always joke that I should have won an Oscar because my daily act of keeping it together was quite a bit of work because I was not okay. So the Lord led me to a theater, the Miracle Theater in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And at the time I was 26 years old and newlywed, and had recently been diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. And the medication from this disorder led me to gain 30 pounds in 1 month, and I was covered in cystic acne and experienced anger and rage as a side effect that I had never experienced before. So one day on stage, I experienced a massive panic attack in front of hundreds of people, and that left me just debilitated. And I had heard of GFI, and I was in a place where I couldn't afford counseling, I couldn't afford help, but I knew that that was the place that I could go. So I reached out and made an appointment and met with Dr. Solomon, and that day he told me what it was to surrender my life to Christ. I had never heard that before. I didn't know what it meant to allow Christ to be the center of my life. So I prayed with him that day, and later that night I was in the show again, and that show was The Story of Jesus, and I was playing Mary Magdalene. And in the show, in that moment, Jesus puts his hand on Mary Magdalene, and she had been possessed by demons in the show, and he puts his hand on her and says, "Greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world." And in the show, at that point, Mary Magdalene comes up and the demons leave. Well, in that moment for me, I came up and I experienced something that I still can't really describe today, but for the first time, knew that I wasn't alone. I hadn't known that the Holy Spirit was a physical presence, and I knew that I was going to be okay. And I continued to meet with Dr. Solomon and learn what it means to walk in the Spirit and to walk in victory. And I am still learning that today, 10 years later, what it means to walk in the Spirit. But I know that surrendering my life to Christ and allowing him to guide and to be my center is the answer to my struggles. And I'm so thankful to God to say that today I am still married. I have 2 beautiful children, and my disease is in remission, and I am happy and healthy, and I'm sharing what I learned at GFI with those who also struggle with anxiety. And I just want to say thank you for the work that you're doing, for the work that you've done over the last 50 years. It is so blessed, and it is so worthwhile, and I am so very grateful. I love you all, and happy anniversary.